What's up, everyone? It's Gabbie Trades here, and welcome back to the Coin Bureau Trading channel. Is the bottom in, or is this a bull trap? But we have to do something before we get rolling, right? And that's we don't forget to smash the like button. We always do that. We subscribe and hit the bell so you guys never miss a live breakdown here with me. How is everyone? We have Nimoy here. All right, you guys, make sure to start in the chat box. Say hi if you're new here. Welcome. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. Hello, Gina. Okay, here we go. We start again with the guesses where I'm from. You guys, let me know if the music's all right, if everything's fine. Video music check as usual. I want to make sure you guys are happy. And does anybody recognize this gentleman here? We're dead and buried. I know, mate. I know. I feel you. Trust me. Nimoy is from Earth. Okay, does anybody recognize this gentleman here that we're about to start with? So this is recent news. So this is Ray Dalio, right? He's a legendary hedge fund chief, and he is sounding an alarm on the Federal Reserve, you guys. So hello from Slovakia. Hello. Hello from SA. Amazing. So basically, he's warning us that about the Fed's current posture, right? Particularly of the moves that he says, according to, the Fed, they might be considered as the Fed positioning in a technical way. So some might consider it as that, but others could also believe that this could create a bigger trouble for the markets that we expect. So basically, his concern is mainly about the fact that, the Fed is announcing that maybe he's going to go back into QE, right? Which is going to be a huge shift, especially if inflation is still sticky, you guys. So basically, he's arguing that this could create another bubble or pretty much reduce the confidence in the value of the money. So yeah, if the Fed shift towards easing, the markets, of course, are going to expect lower future yields, which tends to boost growth stocks in general. But on the other hand, when the Fed is talking about QE, at the same time, inflation remains elevated. Markets might fear about stagflation or, currency debasement, all these things that could hurt valuations. So yeah, this guy is quite interesting, and before he's been flagging about technology like AI and mega caps and their growth, because we've seen that they would be the ones that would push the indices mainly. But now he's not flagging that. He's more commenting in regards to the federal policy and how long really the excess can be, the excesses of these growths can be tolerated, right? So for us, again, if we have a narrow market, we always say that if we have a narrow market that's led always by few names, and then we have, for example, a policy shock or a surprise after the Fed shifts, it will become, a magnet for instability, really. So very important to note that. All right. In regards to Trump, because someone was complaining we didn't talk about Trump last time. Well, basically, we did have the Supreme Court hearing yesterday. And basically, most of the judges across the board were skeptical, right? So they expressed strong skepticism about the tariffs. And, when you think about it, by tradition, the tariffs and such as, tariffs, taxes, they've been under a congressional authority. So, and when you also think about that, Trump's major strategy around tariffs is to have leverage over other countries and also to use them as revenue source. So if they rule against him, that is going to, the first thing that's going to do is going to weaken the bargaining position of Trump with China, European, all the trading partners that he has. And possibly it might also trigger refunds or remedial actions. So yeah, the court's decision is going to be important, but that's not going to happen instantly, right? It's going to take probably months. It's going to evolve in months, right? Until then, what are we going to say? Well, until then, we still have that headline risk hanging above our heads. Any leaks, any commentary, or chatter about it could be of importance. to us. All right. In the meanwhile, the market yesterday was okay. Yeah, was trading kind of up. But then we have the Russell, the small cap leading. Okay, so maybe risk on a little bit if the small caps is starting to give us some moves finally. But again, we need a lot more follow through. We need several more days or weeks of that to get, you know, to get confident. Hold on, my mic was a bit low, you guys. I asked you about sound. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? Hit the like button, you guys. Yes, make sure to do it. And we're gonna jump in straight to Bitcoin. Fear and greed. No need even to look at the fear and greed. We're in extreme fear for the stock market. Fear in crypto. So yeah, overall, that's how we're looking, right? Everyone's fearful. And what I said earlier, by the way, and I'm going to say it again, is basically when you find yourself in an extreme fear territory, that often comes with some bounces like this, right? Which could be considered as a dead cat bounce. So that's where the term comes from. Okay, we're gonna look at all the alts you guys want. I can see we have world, but of course we're gonna start with the majors. That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, blah blah blah, Solana. So once we go through these, then we're gonna look at the altcoins. Okay, so first of all, to the topic of this live stream, right? Is this bounce real? Okay, so the way I like to start this analysis is very simple and help you guys also you know, have your own way of seeing the markets, right? So when you look at this drop to the downside, you can clearly see that that's bearish distribution, right? There is many rotation points that price could have over here, right? With a bounce, we can get another rotation. This is a rotation point, right? We can bounce even up to like the 110K region, make a lower high and still, you know, create a lower low. So, you know, we're essentially in this rotation zone right now. So we haven't had any proof and we won't have any proof that price is completely recovered until we start creating healthy bullish structure. So that is going to mean, you know, higher lows and higher highs. Okay, that's very basic stuff, very basic stuff. So now that we're aware of that, what is the next thing that we want to look? We want to look all the way to the left and understand where are we currently positioned in price. Well, as you can see, we're trading below previous points, right? So there is a lot that needs to happen to convince us that this was the bottom. Yes, 100K is, you know, a massive psychological level, you know, another basic thing for you know, the major retail traders, psychological levels, round numbers. Fine, we have that on the table as well. And it is a very important point indeed, because if we lose the 100K right now, there is pretty much clear path. Like we have a little bit of support around 94, between 94K and 96K. But essentially, the next major support point is actually very low. Like, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to scare you guys, but it is what it is on the charts. Like if we lose 94, 96, then the next road is going to lead us to 89K, which is going to be very, very ugly, right? So over here, what we want to achieve right now as a healthy retrace is at least a little bit more proof, right? A little bit more proof. And if you just drop down to the 4-hour time frame and focus on this entire reversal, when you focus on this entire reversal, you can see that the structure continues to be weak, right? Continues to be weak. This was the last bullish candle that we had. We didn't even manage to close above it today. Instead, we're rejecting. This is not good, right? You do have a case potentially if you want to try and long it from the support over here at 102.6. Technically, strategically, according to my strategy, you do have a case to come long here. If you're not long already, right, which I am, from the lows down here, you can see the supports and resistances that we've been discussing together on this channel. You can't say no, we haven't, because we have, right? These were absolutely, you know, shown to you guys for a long time, right? And there are specifically the points at 98.828, 99.469, and 100,325, all right? Now, the problem I have here with this low is not only that. I have multiple problems with that, okay? Again, you have relatively equal lows down here. This is usually liquidity, right? And not only that, you don't need to only look at Bitcoin, right? You can also look at the overall markets and kind of like gauge what's happening in general. All right. I think on the 30-minute time frame, or was it the 1 hour? It was not even looking that good. But anyway, on the 1 hour, you potentially have a reversal structure. You don't really have a reversal structure that's coming on the 4 hour. Your favorite have 50-60 hit rate. You might as well just flip a coin and base your decision on that. John Nada, yes, you probably won't be wrong. Flipping a coin could also work, you know. I'm not going to be opposing to that. But anyway, so what we're trying to do here is not flip a coin. We're trying to analyze the market and make sense of the technicals over here. Correct? So that's what the technicals are showing me at the moment. This week, this move is weak at the moment, which is the reason why I'm long down here on a very low leverage with my position secured, because I'm not willing to risk at this move that is not proven anything but sort of a little bit support. Now I'm going to tell you what needs to happen in order for this move to change. All right. And pay attention very closely. Thank you, John Nada. John Nada, Gabbie, you're doing great. I appreciate that. So the thing about this move, right? And by the way, before we start, I just want to say one more time. I've been saying to you guys, and again, I'm going to repeat it. 10th of November, around 10th of November is when the month starts for me, according to my strategy, right? Make sure to like the video if you haven't. But even though we're in November 6th already, I'm still trading in October, right? That's how I look at the markets. So for me, I'm not expecting any major moves to happen until probably 9th, maybe Sunday to Sunday into Monday, right? So that's what I'm expecting. That would be ideal if that happens. It would make a lot of sense to me. Okay. And if that happens, if we get a reversal and we're still trading above 100, happy days, right? But what needs to happen is the following. You guys need to understand something. When you have a bearish structure like that, in order for the market makers to reverse that, they need to create a trading base, right? What do I mean by trading base? They need to create a price range with a clear bottom. You understand? So that is going to mean that they need to solidify the area between 100,000 and around 107,000 as a base of the new trading range that they're trying to develop. Okay, so you want to see this area over here solidified as a base before we start doing anything. For the moment, this area is not solidified as a base, so it is very tricky, right? And if you're long, good for you. You're not wrong, right? You probably made a very good decision because this is a massive inflection point, right? But again, you have to be careful of what might come next, okay? Because this hasn't been proven yet as a base, and we haven't seen a solid reversal. We haven't seen a single, higher low created, okay? California, I'm scared. I know. I get it, you guys. I get it. Don't be scared. This is normal. This happens all the time. In the markets, you have to understand that. Because the thing is, right, we're currently looking at the 12-hour time frame. You might as well go and trade the 1-minute time frame, and you're going to find similar structures all the time happen on the 1-minute and on the 5-minute time frame. So if you want to scalp and you're telling me that this structure is scaring you, I understand. Maybe for your holds, for your bags is terrifying. But, as a technical trader, when you look at that, it shouldn't scare you. Okay. What else do I want to say about Bitcoin? So yeah, essentially when we start November, then we're going to have our true month open, then we're going to have our true weeks open, and then we can continue to work with that. Okay. Now, when we look at ETH again, very disappointing asset that dropped like 20%. Your bags are down 20%. I get it. We're back at price levels that we used to be, back in beginning of 2024. It hurts. I understand that. All right. You do have a case over here, not on a higher time frame, on a lower time frame, not even close. You pretty much don't have any reversal case at the moment actually on Ethereum. The only thing that you could be hoping right now is that potentially the daily support is going to hold, because Ethereum, the one thing that annoyed me is that it traded way too deep, right? Like we looked at the weekly time frame, if you remember, on Tuesday, and what I told you guys is that these two lows need to be taken, right? These two lows were generated liquidity above the fair value gap, which is, you know, a very important area for us on a weekly time frame. So we have two engineered liquidities. This is what we were expecting to happen, and finally we got that move down. So it could be it, you know what I mean? But technically, if you want to use risk management right now, you cannot, right? You cannot, because you traded way too deep into the daily support. Ideally, right, if you are very risky, you would be like, all right, price is bouncing back. It looks like it's going to hold the daily support. It broke back through it. Is it going to hold? If it's holding it, then maybe you have a case of a re-entering over here. But again, you're going to have the exact same argument with Ethereum that you had with Bitcoin, which is you need a change of structure, a bullish change of structure, right, to start making some sensible decisions. Otherwise, honestly, you guys, if we start failing our supports right now and the reversal proves to be a nothing burger, which currently is what it's doing, it's proven that it's a nothing burger, then that would probably mean that Ethereum could potentially have another drop, right? To retest, in my opinion, I don't have anything here around the 3,000 area. Yeah, we have a weekly fair value gap behind, but my most important area is down here at $2,900 Ethereum, right? So we're trading in between it right now. So I'm not making any decisions over here. I'm either making decisions if we start breaking structures and we hold support, then I can turn a little bit more bullish. If we trade above 3,500, at least trade above that. Come on. Right? At least trade before previous points that have failed so many times, such as here, right? Here for ETH. We're trading below it right now. So that's an extremely dangerous zone for me. I don't want to be involved until price proves to me that, we're ready, right? If the market makers are like, all right, fine. This level doesn't work for us. We need higher prices. Then I'll be like, all right, sounds good. I'm going to jump on the train with you. But for now, it seems like indecision. In fact, this is bearish distribution, right? Bearish distribution. Okay. Guys, feel free to say hi in the chat box. I remember everyone's names. It's very nice to see all the people live here. Raycon-san, Janice, John Nada. So nice to see you guys. Again, let me know if you have any altcoins that you want me to review, that you're curious about what's happening, so then we can apply, my technical analysis on it and talk about it. Now, Zcash, okay, no problem. The problem with Solana right now is, and we said that last time, I'm just gonna repeat it very quickly. Balanfest, hello. The problem is this liquidity, right, on the 4-hour time frame. So, these liquidation levels you can get only with my indicators. Everything is in the description box. You guys go and check them, find out. There is videos about them on my main channel on YouTube, which you can also find the link in the description box. And in a minute, I'm going to check how many likes we have. We need to have at least 84 likes. I'm not checking now. You guys let me know. So yeah, the problem with Solana is that we have the 4-hour liquidity, which we really wanted to be wrong about, but we weren't, okay? So the liquidity is pretty much still remaining a target, in my opinion, for Solana. And so far, what I'm seeing is that supports are proving to be resistance at the moment. So for me, the next road for Solana is going to be around 100 and, that liquidity over here, $142. And then we have a 12-hourly support and $140. So I think that would be an extreme area where I can say, okay, maybe I can place some bets in that area, For now, no, very risky. Okay, very risky. Cool. How about RSR? Blah 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 blah. I don't know, man. Like, crypto is just trash, you know. I don't know anything about projects. I'm not interested. Nobody's ever used anything like in real life. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Zcash is quite good, actually. I like it a lot because it's moving quite nice. I don't know if you remember, we had this prediction last time which did pretty well. So it's the type of coin that if you caught, you know what I mean. If you didn't, you were probably left behind. Good morning, Bashir. Yeah, we're gonna look at Sui. I'm so glad you guys have all these coins in mind. But I want to do one thing before we start with Zcash, then we continue to Sui. And yes, I'm not paying for ads. We have 91 people watching and 41 likes. 42 now. Thank you. Okay, but I think we can pump the likes to at least 80. Can we do that? And by the way, make sure to check all of the offers that Coin Bureau Trading has for you, such as Tapbit. You can get, you know, free bonus money if you sign up and you are looking for a, you know, non-KYC exchange to trade with. You can find it down here in the description box with all kinds of offers. Bybit, very well known, obviously KYC, and then you have two non-KYC options, you guys, which I think is pretty cool because they have a lot of bonuses, especially if you use the link from the live stream right now. Make sure to follow my main YouTube channel as well. And oh, by the way, I did the course for you guys. If you're interested, go ahead and check it. If you're not, don't do it. I honestly don't care because I did it because people were asking. It's nothing crazy, okay? Actually, let's leave that here. I'm kind of proud with this sniper entry. So yeah, Zcash is at the moment is, you know, creating a structure that is very bullish, right? This is a very very bullish structure. So the types of structure that do that kind of things, right? And they don't even pull back 50% to retrace to 50% of the price leg, are very strong structures. So the thing that you can do best with these kind of structures is to find out a range, right? So essentially you would be waiting for price to develop some sort of a range, and then in that range, the ideal thing you can do is position yourself at the bottom of the range with expectations. Let me just draw it in a different way so it makes more sense. With expectations, you know, that price is going to continue this expansive move to the upside, because Zcash is very bullish. Honestly, it's very bullish on the daily time frame. Like, there is so much work that needs to happen in order for this asset to start dropping like crazy, right? So yeah, definitely on a range formation, I think it's gonna be probably the best case scenario for Zcash. You know what? Let's look at world, because I didn't look at that for a while. Down 2.48 on the day. So that's just one of these ones that I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, so world, you know, with world, okay, double liquidity formation. You kind of drop with the wick below the price range. So I don't like that at all. You see this wick dropping down below our zero price range is very ugly. So usually the coins that did that, I don't like them anymore that much, to be fair. So with world, you know, maybe you have a case for 2.22, right? Maybe you have a case for 2.22 on world. Maybe, okay, at this point, because you have liquidity up here, and you have also a previous level that was created back in October 2024 that you could potentially revisit, right? And if we ignore the wick down here, that is also going to bring you back to sort of like retest the 0.5 of the price range, which is a good area to take profit, in my opinion, right? I think long gone are the days when we can hope for, like, you know, $5 on world and stuff like that. it's just what the technicals are showing me, honestly. Like, I think at the best case scenario, if this like outperforms out of nowhere, I'll be saying, wow, you know, $3.4. If it gets to $3.4, I'd be like, no way, but it's possible, right? Like, technically it is possible. 3.4, but like anything above that, to me, it's going to be crazy. And in fact, with the weakness of this current market, I think 2.3 is probably a stretch, right? You're welcome. Yeah, it looks so weird, Nick. I agree 1000%. You guys, make sure to like this video. I don't know why you guys are not liking, but we need more likes. Let's look on the higher time frame, weekly over here, world. No, that's it, really. Yeah, see, the problem is, right? I'm going to tell you one more thing that's important. I've made a video on Coin Bureau, by the way, for this specific setups. But the thing is, this is a bearish leg, right? In a bearish leg, you don't hope for more than 0.5, okay? And with this spike up here into a resistance, by the way, 2.18, if you see it, you didn't really reach the 0.5 of the price leg, right? Instead, you made it a liquidity, right? You made it a liquidity on a daily time frame. So for me, right, for me, if we get any bull run whatsoever, maybe grab that liquidity, retest 2.38, that's it. You know, that's it. Because anything above that is going to be extremely extraordinary and unexpected in a bearish leg, right? In a bearish leg, you reject at the 0.5, you make new lows. You know what I mean? And you can't make the case for that here. You can't make the case, right? Maybe someone can say, but hey, this week almost reached 0.5 and traded below the 0. It's also true, but it didn't really reach 0.5. So it really, when I look at a chart like that, what I think is, wow, this is either extremely bad. You know what I mean? This is so weak that it didn't even reach to 0.5 and it already traded sub-0. Wow, like this is going to hell, you know? That's one way I'm going to look at it. The other way I'm going to look at it is, all right, do we still have chance of a bull run for another few months? Potentially. Are we holding key support levels at the very extremes? Potentially. That's even not proven yet, but potentially. So yeah, maybe we can retest 0.5 and send it back to hell. Okay. Any other sorry, near. Okay. Zulu goes, Gabbie! Hello everyone. You guys, make sure to like this video. I can't see how many likes we have. We have 70 people here, so we need to have at least 70 likes. Make sure to check the description box, all the signups. You guys are traders already, etc. But if you're looking for a change up or something new, you guys can probably check these offers, right? Because there is amazing bonuses here for you. All right. You're skipping XRP. Not intentionally. I'm just trying to go one by one as per request, right? I'm a people pleaser. What can you do? Near. So near is you know, it's not that bad, okay? But the one thing that I see is it does have a potential to trade up to $9. We have a double liquidity formation again with my indicators. You guys find them in the description box. They're very useful no matter what trading style you have. If you don't know how to use them, they're very simple to use. I've made a video on it. But essentially, you have a double liquidity formation, and that sort of formations, you take the lower side, right? And then you come for the upper liquidity grab. So yeah, you do have a case potentially for $9 over here. You're currently trading below the support, so you have no case to come in long here. 0, like on a weekly, on a daily, no cases whatsoever created right now. You have to wait, right? You have to wait. At the very minimum, price needs to trade above 2.215 with a daily close above. And I could even argue a little bit higher because you have two resistances over here at 2.3 and 2.26. So yeah, you need a little bit more conviction. But again, even on a daily time frame, you have double liquidity. So, you know, 3.4 is a target to look at. Of course, you have relatively equal highs here, so maybe you can stretch it a little bit more. Okay, a lot of stacked highs over here, not bad as a target, you know. And then you don't want to push it more than $9, right? Because besides the liquidity at $9, you also have the sell zone over here. So probably this is going to be it for near. And for the XRP dudes and Judases, let's have a look at XRP. Very clear case for XRP as well. So, you know, the thing about XRP is extremely weak. Massive bearish distribution happening over here. Yes, you are at some sort of buy levels right now. That's fine, because I like to see the markets matching up, right? So like, for example, you have the zones on Ethereum, you have the zones on, you know, on whatever, ETH BTC, blah, blah, blah. By the way, let's look at ETH BTC. What did we say last time? Price was trading here on Tuesday. What did we say? This is where it needs to go. And I said, take a screenshot, you guys. Did you take a screenshot? I don't know. Whatever. Regardless, right? Price is here. So the one thing about ETH BTC before we continue to XRP is I don't like the fact how deep we trade it, right? I don't like it. Even though technically, when you look at this sort of structure, this mini structure over here, it is quite a healthy retrace. So you have an argument for a reversal, but we need a bit more, right? At least on the 4-hour time frame, a little bit more proof to say, okay, we're reversing, because otherwise, here's the, you know, one more buy zone down here, okay, that we might look at. For example, if the market starts dumping, this is one area that I'll be looking at next. So that's in between 0.029 and 0.030. Okay, we're gonna look at AERGO, but let's look at XRP 1 sec. Hold on. So for the for you guys, all right, for you guys, bearish distribution, right? Look at that, 2.58, right? Look at this major level. I'm not making up stuff, okay? It's on the charts. I'm not making up anything. It's here. So what are you seeing, right? Well, you have this treated as resistance several times. You're making lower lows right now. Yeah, you had one bullish candle. Okay, yeah, maybe it was a bullish engulfing candle. Hooray, big hooray. Okay, up I don't know how many percent from the low. We did 12% or something. So the case over here with XRP becomes a little bit of a higher time frame concern for me. So if that's the case, and if I'm expecting for the market to drop down further, then on XRP, I'm going to looking at 1.9735, which is the 0.5 of the current price leg on a higher time frame that XRP is trading. That's the level that I'll be interested in. All right. Let's make these ones smaller. All right, cool. And matching as well. That's nicer. Now that I have that permission to take screenshots of the chart, not of me. Oh my god, not of me. I need to wear glasses, you guys, some sort of protection, because these lights are like making me crazy. We have AERGO. Guys, please repeat your coins, because I honestly like get lost in the chat box. AERGO, you know what, like technically when you look at the bearish leg, this is what we talk about, right? This is what we talk about. Bearish leg, 0.5 rejection, sub-zero, right? This is the normal stuff that we discuss. Now let's imagine, let's try and we have to use imagination, right? Because if we don't, we have a massive bearish case here, and in order for us to maintain this bullish bias, we need to use imagination. Okay, so we're imagining that this week was a mistake, right? This week was a mistake, and the market makers brought it up, and they're trying to maintain a bottom right now over here. DUSK, okay, cool. And we can imagine that they're maintaining 0.236 on AERGO. You know, yes, after the liquidation, we came into very disgusting levels. We tried to hold, then we came to our resistance, right? That used to be support once before September. We came to the resistance, we rejected. So now essentially we're trading in between levels. What are the levels? The levels are 1.093 and then 0.7665 on error. What is that? Well, that's the 0.236 of the price leg. Okay, happy days. So if we manage to maintain that level, break resistance over here, that would be fine. Now the question is to how far are you willing to trade this, right? Because in a bearish leg, I usually don't like to trade it above the 0.5. So maybe in case you have some documents aligned in the white papers that I don't know anything about, then maybe you have a case of $1.9 to $2, right? And that's it. I don't see anything more on that. Okay. You are welcome. You are welcome. We're gonna do DUSK now. Well, let's do DUSK. Have I even charted this? Not really, but we can do a quick one. All right, very bearish chart, higher time frame. Okay, so when I'm looking at something like this, if I use my imagination again, because honestly, there is no imagination that I can use below this level on a weekly time frame. Like even my imagination doesn't stretch that much. But imagine, okay? Imagine we same. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I know it, but like, whatever. The thing is, you know, I imagine that on a weekly time frame, we have a break above this level. You know, if I stretch my imagination, woo, okay, fine. And then, you know, we confirm that level of support, and then maybe, just maybe, I might decide to stretch my imagination further and say, okay, maybe this has a chance to retest 0.305. But again, that's a big stretch. That's a big stretch. Very big stretch, in fact. And you have multiple areas of resistance before that. But most importantly, you know, on a daily time frame from the very, very bottom, here is the support on a daily time frame, very clear. 0.04265, very clear. Currently at a daily point of rejection. So first you want to beat that level and maybe find an entry somewhere at a support down here to chase probably on leverage this high over here at 0.08745. I think that's a safe play. All right. And then if your entry was so good and you caught that, that's just in an imaginary situation again. Let's say I caught that trade on a leverage, okay, and I've taken profit here. I am willing to leave a runner, right? Because my imagination is so stretched at this point that I believe that this could go to 0.305, right? It's a massive stretch, but again, yeah, that chart is terrible. Okay. Hit the like button, you guys. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Make sure to support this video, share it also with everyone you want. What do we have? Sui, John Croker wanted to see Sui again. You guys, if you're looking for somewhere to trade, you have all the offers down here, just letting you know once again. All right, let's look at Tao. I think everyone is like worried about Tao. Now, the thing about Tao is, and you know, I've been talking about this multiple times already. But yeah, it was one of the coins that recovered very, very nicely from the drop. It was an immediate recovery, very beautiful recovery. Unfortunately, when you open the daily time frame, this was a very clear short setup over here. You can see the levels, right? These two levels. Stacked resistance, very strong resistance into, you know, a bearish fair value gap over here. Into a, you know, an order block. So yeah, you do have a case of a short here, right? You did have that case down here, at least up until this level, which is it's been holding as support, right? If you look at it, like it's kind of like holding, not really, but it is. This was the perfect entry for Tao. This is what I've been saying. That's the perfect entry down here. So essentially right now, if S hits the fan, you guys know what I mean, you'd be probably looking for a price to trade below this level once again, and then retrace back. If someone's long right now, you don't really have a case to be long, but you know, you are technically right now, as we're speaking, you're trying to close a bullish engulfing right on the 12-hour time frame. So maybe the level will hold, but I personally would like it to drop a little bit more and clear more liquidity before I enter. Okay, for Tao. And then again, you know, looking at the charts on a higher time frame, I'm not hoping for anything crazy. Probably if I catch it, I'll probably trade it to 650, not more than that. Okay, someone was saying woo. Who trades woo? Honestly, who? Mate, it's just, there is nothing to say. It's trading way below levels. You have absolutely no entry whatsoever. Anything below 0.08, I don't even want to look at the chart. You know, if that makes sense. And make sure to follow my main YouTube channel, you guys, as well. If you want to see more of the live streams, more setups, check the course that I've created for you guys as well. It's pretty awesome. So I think that's it. We discussed everything that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and you should know where we're standing by now. And I'm very excited to see you next week again. We're here on Tuesday and Thursday for our stream, so make sure you make it, because it's a very good information for you guys, I believe so. Okay, and you're gonna learn a lot just by the live streams. So I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.